Welcome, everyone, to the flower moon ceremony, the full moon of May. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And I invite you to have a glass of water next to you. And if you can, get a bottle of water, a closed bottle of water made of glass or plastic, and put it at your window to receive the energies of the moon and prepare moon water. I have energized waters, and I invite you as well to light a white candle. It's lit up. Perhaps you cannot see it because of my background. A white candle with your intention for this full moon ceremony. And if you haven't, then you can do it afterwards as well. Prepare the moon water, light a candle with intention, and gaze at the full moon for a few moments or as much as you would like. This is a very transformative full moon. And breathe. And I am Pnina Moldovano, and thank you for joining me tonight. I will turn off my camera so I can concentrate. Okay. And perhaps you've been sensing this already yesterday or a few days ago, particularly today, and it will continue tomorrow as well. Maybe some feelings, some emotions have been coming up for you. Maybe you've had some so-called weird dreams. Yeah, that makes sense because the full flower moon, especially this flower moon in Scorpio, we'll talk about it, is very powerful. It's very transformative, and things are coming out to the surface, not against you or us, but in order to transform you, bring forth things that perhaps have been hidden, have been lying dormant, to gain more insight into what your path is, into what it is that you want to invest in, what you want to grow, what you want to bloom. Just before springtime, just before the days are starting to get brighter, the flower moon lights up those dark hidden corners inside of us and performs this transformation. And in the process, it fertilizes the soil of our creations, of our manifestations, of the flowers that we want to see in bloom this coming spring. And breathe. So, May's moon names tend to speak to the arrival of spring and all that it entails. As flowers spring forth across North America in abundance this month. Yes, flower moon, as the name entails, tells us of the coming of spring and the flowers in bloom. Flower moon has been attributed to the Algonquin peoples. May's moon was also called the month of flowers, which is likely a Dakota name. The Cree names budding moon and leaf budding moon celebrate the awakening of local flora, which really begins to leaf out now in many areas. And breathe. Planting moon from Dakota, Lakota, marks the time when seeds should be should be started for the farming season ahead. The activities of animals marked spring's arrival too, which is highlighted by the Cree names egg-laying moon and frog moon, as well as the Oglala moon of the shedding ponies. And another name is milk moon for the milking of the cows. All of these names indicate that warmer weather is on the way and that spring is coming. And so, yes, probably you've started to sense that depending on where you are, that um, the weather is getting warmer, and you've seen the sprouts of many seeds, flowers starting to bloom, and after the long winter where you've been more indoors, literally, physically, and doing some internal work, inner work as well. Um, Seeing what it is that you want to let go of, what it is that you want to bring forth, work that you've been doing. Now is the time to see the blooms, the fruits of all the seeds that you've been planting. And so the flower moon invites us to acknowledge what has been blossoming in you, in your life, and what it is that you intend to see even more in bloom. And breathe. Okay. And astronomically, what is interesting that this month, flower moon, is also a micromoon. And micromoons occur when a full moon coincides with the point in its orbit when it's farthest from Earth. And as a result, the micromoon will appear about 14% smaller and 30% dimmer than usual. So this moon looks smaller and is not really smaller, but it may appear so to us gazing at it from Earth. But even so, it will appear full to our eyes. It started already yesterday, today, and continuing up until tomorrow, depending on where you are on the planet. And as smaller as the flower moon may appear, it is still very much luminous. And breathe. It illuminates even those small places that perhaps we ignore or consider unimportant. So, in the past couple of days, today, if some thought has come to your mind, have you thought of someone or something you haven't thought of for a long time, or something that seems unimportant, presumably, or some detail has been brought to your attention? It's these small things that you haven't been paying attention to. Well, they're here. They have come onto the surface for you to acknowledge them, because there may be something there that is of great value for you, for your transformation, for what it is that you want to manifest. And breathe. And so I invite you today and for the next couple of days to be more aware, more conscious of your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams, what is going on during nighttime, any encounters, anything you experience during the day, and breathe. And even these small corners are now in light because they carry information, information vital for your growth, for your bloom. And this coincides wonderfully with the fact that this year's flower moon appears in Scorpio. Scorpio, a water sign known for its intensity, emotional depth, and focus on shared resources. So, if you've been experiencing some emotions, especially today, I invite you to just be with them. Do not resist them. They have not come to scare you or to get in your way. They have come to teach you. They have come to transform you. And astrologer Carl Thomas also says that the full moon in Scorpio is bringing forth a balance, a striking balance between what we give and receive. This will be extremely important. And any imbalances within these themes will be tremendously important to face. Investments, assets, and large money matters will be rocked by this full moon. And breathe. And I ask you, have you been facing any imbalances in giving and receiving, and giving, receiving of cash, money, of love, attention? It can be anything, yes, because all energy is a cycle. And optimally, the cycle of giving and receiving is balance. You give and you also receive. You give cash, for example. You don't keep cash to yourself. You give it and it comes back to you. Or you give love to someone or something, and that someone or the universe is giving love back to you. However, when there's an imbalance in the giving and receiving cycle, then we find ourselves challenged. We find ourselves challenged with cash, feeling that we don't have enough cash, or feeling unloved, or feeling that, oh, I put up all of this work and I invest, I give my time and money, and allegedly it hasn't been fruitful. I haven't been receiving much back, perhaps in your line of work, perhaps with your clients. And if you've been feeling that way, breathe, breathe. Because this flower moon in Scorpio is exactly what you need right here, right now, to heal that imbalance, to transform, transmute, transfigure the cycle of giving and receiving, which is here to support you, us, to support your manifestation. And many times when we are on the verge of making a change, growing, we may be experiencing what is known as growing pains. Yeah? Maybe there's a part of us, the shadow part of us, that resists that change. And when I say shadow, I don't mean it in a negative way. It just is. It is part of us. It is part of nature. It is part of the universe. And the moon as well in general, as opposed to the sun, is also here to illuminate our shadows. Yeah. So our shadows are here for a purpose. They carry gifts. They come to teach us things. So perhaps the shadow, which wishes to keep us in the familiar, in our comfort zone, it does that because it wants to protect us. Yeah? Not because it's a bad thing. And breathe. However, at the same time, you know, inside of you, there's a knowing, your higher self knows that the only constant is change. Your higher self knows that in order to grow and expand, change is inevitable. It can be the smallest change, like taking a different route back home or driving a different way, to a major change like changing your career or moving to a different place. Whichever it is, from the smallest to the largest change, change is a necessary part of growth. Because we always grow, we always change, whether we notice that or not. And in order to grow new seeds and manifest bigger, larger, newer, you need to change, you need to grow. And breathe. And the flower moon in Scorpio helps to facilitate with much more ease and much more flow that gap, that change, while performing the healing, the transformation inside of you. This allegedly small moon illuminates the fear, the concern, those emotions inside of you, which are there for a reason. The waters in you are being transformed just as the moon transforms the waters on planet Earth. And breathe. And for you to manifest more cash, more success in your relationships, in your business, in your work, deeper, loving, healthier relationships, you need to be able to have faith, have that leap of faith, and allow yourself to walk into the unknown. Because, yeah, I mean, whatever it is that we want to manifest, we have a certain idea, wish in our head, and we then transform it into intention. We have a strong intention and passion in our hearts that align with that intention of what it is that we want to manifest. We bring forth that passion, mind, soul, heart, and body by taking the action steps to fulfill that intention, to manifest that. So we may have it planned to a certain degree and know what action steps we need to take. However, with any kind of manifestation, with any kind of success, let it be success in cash and business, or success in attracting a mate, or relationship, or whatever it may be, there's always an aspect of the unknown because we don't know everything. And why should we? If we knew everything, then what's the point of being here and living this life, correct? And so, as much as we plan, and planning is good, and bringing forth mind, body, soul, heart into it, and knowing what your next steps are is vital. However, just as the Scorpio is the zodiac sign that rules intimacy, sexuality, the shadow self, and the occult, yeah, it invites us to surrender into the unknown. And stepping into the dark may be scary. Yes, that's the shadow self that perhaps grasps onto that needing to know everything for the sake of security. Embrace that and allow it to go into the unknown, to explore the unknown of your intimacy. Intimacy in Star Fuentes' words is into me see. Allow yourself to look into yourself and allow others to look into you. Whoever you trust and decide to let look into you. Allow yourself to explore your sexuality. That's the second chakra, which is also the chakra of cash and money and creativity and manifestation. Yes, that passion, that fire. So, with the waters of your feelings of your heart and the passion in your heart and in your second chakra, you allow yourself to surrender into the unknown and allow yourself to be surprised, to be surprised because, you plant seeds for what it is that you want to manifest. And yes, you may have an idea in your head of what you want, just as a farmer plants certain seeds for certain plants. But then, it's an art after you've done the work, planted the seeds, water them, to step aside, let go, and let the universe do its course. Let nature grow those seeds into flowers. Let the universe nourish the seeds of your manifestations until they grow. And then they grow in so many different colors. Colors that perhaps you haven't anticipated. And what I've learned is that the universe always gives us gifts. And sometimes we get so stuck in our heads with a certain image, a certain fixed picture of how we see our manifestation, our success in whichever field, what it should look like exactly, that we don't see and don't appreciate when it is manifested, when the universe does give us gifts, only they look slightly different, slightly different. And we get so caught up in that image in our mind that we are not in the here and now and do not allow ourselves to bathe in the surprise, joy, and gratitude of the gifts that the universe is giving us. And breathe. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. This is an important teaching and part of the magic of this month's flower moon. And so, with the flower moon in Scorpio, ask yourself, go into your heart, let go of your mind. Continue to breathe in and out. Sit comfortably. Go into your heart. Perhaps you prefer to close your eyes, clear your head. Go into your heart and truthfully ask yourself, what have I been giving too much of? What have I been giving too much of? What do you choose to release? Remember the cycle of giving and receiving. In order to nourish your seeds, nourish your manifestation, giving it too much water or not enough water, both are probably going to sabotage the blooming of your seeds, right? So you want to find that balance. You want to feed, water, nourish your creation just with the amount it needs. You want to give generously. Yes, have an open heart, give in generosity, be grateful, and at the same time have healthy boundaries. Not let your energy, cash, time, or whatever it may be, not let your waters bleed, not let yourself bleed energy, and allow yourself to receive as well. Allow yourself to receive from the universe and breathe. And whatever answer comes to you, don't judge it. Don't try to control it. Let go of your mind and accept what answer is coming to you. That's the answer. Embrace it. Be grateful. Be grateful for this valid, precious information that is here to serve you, your growth. And take a deep breath in and out. And now, go into your heart again and ask yourself, what do I invest in? What do I want, intend to invest in? What's in my soul to invest in? Let it be time, cash, attention, energy, whatever it may be, what it is that you do invest in. and breathe. Let the answer come to you. And ask yourself, what have I seen blooming thus far? It is of great importance for your manifestation to acknowledge what you have already manifested, to acknowledge your success. Because when you acknowledge your success, when you celebrate your accomplishment, then that's the energy you're in and that's the energy you're attracting. Lying on the principle that the similar attracts similar, you want growth and expansion, then you be in that state of growth and expansion. And when you live a life of gratitude, value, and appreciation, that's a very appealing, attractive quality. And it attracts to you more growth, more success. So I invite you to acknowledge the blooming already happening in your life. What have you seen in bloom? Which flowers are blooming in your garden? And breathe. Yes. Feel that joy, that gratitude, that appreciation in your heart. And it may be anything. It may be a post you put on social media, a new person you've met, a trip you took, cash you received, something different in you that you've incorporated into your life, a new client, whatever it may be, what is already in bloom. Because we plant seeds all the time. But now we have the consciousness, the awareness to decide which seeds we want to plant. Take a deep breath. And the next question I invite you to ask yourself is, what new with this full flower moon announcing the coming of spring, this coming blossom, what new do you intend to grow? And next question, though it is not written here, and I invite you to ask yourselves, and after perhaps listening to the recording of this ceremony, put it in writing, because when you put down in writing something, then it involves another dimensions and it gives it anchors it in. Okay. It doesn't stay in the air. It doesn't stay in your mind or in the astral realm, but it comes down to reality, to the physical realm. So one question is, what new do you intend to grow? And the next question is, what action steps? Three is a magical number. Which three action steps, which you align with, which you feel comfortable, maybe a little uncomfortable is good. Yes, because every growth requires some uncomfortability, but it doesn't have to be radical. Yes. But what three action steps, which are in alignment with you, are you going to take in order to nourish, fertilize, and nourish the soil of your intention, to nourish your manifestation. And breathe and see what's coming to you. Take a few moments to be with that. Yeah. Good, good. And again, put that in writing. And when you look at the moon tonight or tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world, remember the candle you lit up. Think, feel, see, smell, sense that new growth, that blossom, and let the energy of the flower moon support that. And breathe. And tonight's moon will rise with the stars of the constellation Libra on its left hand side, while the bright stars Spica and Arcturus will glitter prominently above. Jupiter and Mars will also be visible in the western sky around the moonrise, and Venus and Saturn will be seen rising in the east as the moon sets on the morning of tomorrow, May 13th. So look at all these beautiful stars surrounding the flower moon. And they're here to remind us that opportunities are in bloom. And the truth is that opportunities always come to us. Perhaps you haven't noticed them, you haven't acknowledged them. Remember that image many of us are stuck within our mind, that we don't see and acknowledge the gifts that the universe is giving us. So, opportunities to grow new plants, new flowers are always here, surrounding and supporting your intention for your manifestation. And so the flower moon reminds us of this, to see, open your eyes, open your third eye as well, your intuition, your inner knowing. Trust your inner knowing in recognizing the opportunities that are all around you. And breathe. And this is the time to embrace the manifestor. Excuse me. Ooh. Yes, a lot of clearing is being done. So let me please have some water, and I invite you to have some water as well. And and breathe. Deep deep breath in, deep breath out. The manifestor, each and every one of you, of us, is a manifestor. We are 100% responsible for our reality. I will repeat it once again. And I want you, please, to listen carefully and take that in. You are 100% responsible for your reality for your life. And breathe. This means that whatever is happening to you is not happening to you, is happening for you, due to you. Okay? Consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously, you have brought that up. And breathe. Therefore, you should be conscious of every thought, every feeling, every word, and every deed and every action you take, because all of them are seeds for your manifestation. And this is powerful. This is not to uh, discourage you. On the contrary, this means that you have the power. We have the power. We are the boss of us. We are the boss of our lives. You have the power. That's incredible. And so embrace the manifestor in you that you are, the queen or king in you, to fertilize your soil and grow beautiful flowers. Take responsibility of the seeds you are planting and decide how you want to fertilize the soil of your manifestation, the soil of your life, and nourish it with good, positive, empowering, healthy thoughts, feelings, action steps that are aligned with who you are and with source. Remember that any creation is co-creation, co-creation with source. And remember to bring in source, your God or goddess, to anything you are and do. And breathe. And I want to say that being responsible of any thought, feeling, action does not mean that you are not to have quote unquote bad feelings. This does not mean that you're supposed to be happy, happy, joy, joy all the time. No. That's being in denial. And that is not nourishing your soil. No. You are allowed and supposed to have all the full array of feelings and emotions. We are human beings. And if you feel like crap, allow yourself to feel like crap. That is embracing and integrating the shadow aspect, the hidden part, and be with that feeling until it passes. And it will pass. But feel it, acknowledge it. That's the only way to come on the other side. And then have that optimism, joy, belief. I believe in myself. I believe in the universe. Faith. I have faith in myself. Faith that source is supporting me. Energy to work in the garden of your intention and your manifestation. Work with ease and joy. And breathe. And breathe. Yes. Yes. Embrace the manifestor, the queen or king of your kingdom, to fertilize your soul and grow beautiful, beautiful flowers. Aho, aho. And everyone who's here in the live event and everyone who will be watching the recording, I want to use this opportunity, this special energy of the flower moon, to say a prayer together, a prayer for peace, peace in the Middle East and peace on earth for all peoples, all nations, all beings, all beings. I know that today, May 12th, there's a group of people here in Israel where I'm currently at, are getting together and are saying a prayer together. And when there's a critical mass of people joining together physically or at a distance, it does not matter. But when it's done at the same time, that a critical mass of people are coming together and hold the same intention, that energy sent, that prayer is multiplied and multiplied. And breathe. And just as the flower moon transforms the emotions, the shadows in us, it does so for the entire planet and for all beings. And just as it announces new growth, new, new spring, let us say this prayer in the coming of new spring, new flowers of peace in Israel, in Gaza, in all places and spaces for all living and non-living beings on planet Earth. So I will read this prayer. This is a prayer in Hebrew translated into English by Rabbi Nachman of Breslev, for peace for all. And I will read it out loud, and I invite you to repeat it in your heart, wherever you are. Hold a strong intention. Remember, you are the manifestor. So each of us has tremendous power to affect the entire world around us, let alone when we come together. Prayer for peace. May it be your will, Holy One, our God, our ancestors' God, that you erase war and bloodshed from the world, and in its place draw down a great and glorious peace, so that nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Rather, may all the inhabitants of the earth recognize and deeply know this great truth, that we have not come into this world for strife and division, nor for hatred and rage, nor provocation and bloodshed. We have come here only to encounter you, eternally blessed one. And so, we ask your compassion upon us. Raise up by us what is written. I shall place peace upon the earth, and you shall lie down safe and undisturbed. And I shall banish evil beasts from the earth, and the sword shall not pass through your land. But let justice come in waves like water, and righteousness flow like a river. For the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Holy One, and the waters cover the sea. So may it be, and we say, Amen. Take a deep breath, everyone. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you for participating in this prayer. Take another deep breath in and out. Thank you for participating in this month's full flower moon ceremony. Thank you, flower moon, for all your blessings. And may the blessings of the flower moon be with you and surround you with blooming manifestations and peace. Amen. Aho. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.